Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Yellowstone's series finale set an unwanted record for the Taylor Sheridan franchise. Although it may have originally been intended to go longer, the hit neo-Western drama Yellowstone came to an end with the Season 5 finale, which unfortunately earned an undesirable record within the Yellowstone franchise. Each season of Yellowstone and its spin-offs prior to the back half of Season 5 earned generally positive reviews, regardless of review platform. However, the overstuffed 6 episodes that closed the show out once and for all were met with mixed reviews for a plethora of reasons, virtually all of which stem from Kevin Costner's early departure from the show. Costner left the show to pursue his passion project, the epic 4-part Western drama series Horizon, an American saga, and in doing so essentially hit the fast-forward button on Yellowstone. It's widely accepted that the ultimate ending to the series occurred as intended, with Case Dutton fulfilling the 1883 prophecy and selling the land of the Yellowstone Ranch to Thomas Rainwater and the Broken Rock Tribe. Most Yellowstone fans also believe that John Dutton was always going to meet a violent end, but the fallout from his off-screen death yielded an unwanted record for the series finale. Most of Taylor Sheridan's shows, Yellowstone in particular, are marked by strong season finales. In the specific case of 1883, which had only one season, the series finale was among the highest-rated episodes on IMDb that Sheridan has ever produced. However, the series finale of Yellowstone carries the ignominious designation as the lowest-rated season finale of any Yellowstone season, including the spin-offs. While IMDb is of course not the ultimate authority when it comes to judging the quality of a TV show, it's a good reflection of the general public's opinion of a specific episode or movie. The IMDb score summarizes the ratings of its registered users on a weighted average, and there are enough registered users on IMDb that it's a fairly accurate representation of the consensus. IMDb also has some of the most granular data on individual episodes, as opposed to an entire season of TV, as other platforms typically highlight. With Kevin Costner leaving the show midway through Season 5, and no prior setup for his sudden departure, it was always going to be a nearly impossible task for Sheridan and his writers to come up with a perfectly satisfying conclusion to all the narratives that had been built up across 4.5 seasons of television. With just 6 meta-sized episodes in which to wrap everything up, Yellowstone had to address the murder of John Dutton, put an end to Jamie and Beth's deadly conflict, write off all the ranchers, and fulfill the 1883 prophecy. Despite a truly admirable attempt by Sheridan and his team, the final 6 episodes were simply unsatisfying. Everything was actually wrapped up neatly, down to each of the ranchers getting a send-off, which is impressive enough. Chances are good that the upcoming Yellowstone spin-offs like 6666 and Beth and Rip's spin-off series will address some of the events of the Season 5 finale, and audiences will likely see some familiar faces floating in and out. However, that still won't make up for the disappointing series finale of the flagship Yellowstone show, which is what yielded the record-breakingly poor IMDb rating. The iconic Western drama Yellowstone, which has dominated television discussions since its 2018 debut, came to an unexpected and somewhat disappointing conclusion with its series finale, setting an unwanted record for the Taylor Sheridan franchise. What was once considered a ratings juggernaut, known for its sprawling Montana landscapes, family power struggles, and Kevin Costner's commanding performance as John Dutton, ended on a surprisingly low note, leaving fans and analysts alike scratching their heads. When Yellowstone premiered on the Paramount Network, it quickly became a cultural phenomenon, drawing in millions of viewers who were captivated by the high-stakes drama of the Dutton family's fight to maintain control of their ranch. As the series progressed, it didn't just maintain a steady audience, it grew into a behemoth, consistently breaking records and elevating Sheridan into one of television's most sought-after creators. However, the much-anticipated series finale failed to deliver the climactic conclusion fans had been waiting for, resulting in the franchise's lowest-rated finale to date. So, what went wrong? A series of unfortunate factors. Several factors contributed to this disappointing outcome. First and foremost was the well-documented behind-the-scenes drama involving Kevin Costner's availability and rumored creative disputes with Sheridan. Fans were aware that Costner's involvement in the show's final season was uncertain, which cast a shadow of doubt over the narrative's resolution. The Dutton patriarch had become the beating heart of the show, and the ambiguity surrounding his character's fate diminished excitement for the finale. Additionally, the extended hiatus between the first and second halves of the final season severely impacted momentum. In an era of binge-watching and immediate gratification, leaving audiences in suspense for so long often leads to viewer fatigue. The prolonged break created a disconnect from the narrative, with many fans moving on to other series or simply losing interest. Critical reception. Critics, who had once praised Yellowstone for its gritty storytelling and strong performances, were underwhelmed by the finale. Many reviews described it as anticlimactic, with a rushed resolution to long-standing storylines and unresolved character arcs. Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser, and Beth Dutton, Kelly Riley, whose fiery relationship had been one of the show's highlights, were left in narrative limbo. Meanwhile, John Dutton's fate was addressed with a sense of finality that felt more like an afterthought than a proper send-off for the character who anchored the series. Social media platforms were flooded with fan reactions that ranged from disappointment to outright frustration. Hashtags like #Yellowstone finale fail and #Sheridan let us down trended for days after the episode aired. "I stuck with this show for years, and this is the ending we get," tweeted one disillusioned fan. "It feels like they didn't even try," another posted. The record-breaking letdown. For a show that once attracted over 12 million viewers for its season premieres, the finale's viewership numbers were shockingly low. Initial reports indicated that the final episode barely crossed the 6 million mark, a stark contrast to its previous highs. This made it the least-watched finale in the history of Sheridan's television projects, which now include successful spin-offs like 1883, 1923, and Mayor of Kingstown. The drop was even more surprising given the amount of promotion surrounding the finale. Paramount Network had invested heavily in advertising, promising a grand, unforgettable conclusion. Instead, audiences were met with what many perceived as a setup for future spin-offs, rather than a satisfying conclusion to the original story. Sheridan's response. Taylor Sheridan, known for his candidness, addressed the finale's reception in a post-airing interview. "Storytelling is an unpredictable business," he said. "We tried to honor the characters and the journey they've been on. Not every ending can please everyone, but I stand by the choices we made." He also hinted that some of the unresolved threads might find closure in the upcoming spin-off series, rumored to star Matthew McConaughey. However, Sheridan's comments did little to pacify the core fan base, who argued that the integrity of the main storyline shouldn't have been sacrificed for the sake of future projects. "If I wanted to watch a spin-off, I would," one fan lamented online. "I just wanted a proper goodbye to the characters I cared about." The impact on the franchise. The finale's disappointing reception raises questions about the future of the Yellowstone universe. While spin-offs like 1883 and 1923 have garnered critical acclaim, the flagship show's underwhelming conclusion could tarnish the broader franchise's reputation. Will audiences remain invested in the universe if the primary narrative was left incomplete? Paramount remains optimistic. The network has announced several upcoming projects, including one set in modern-day Texas and another exploring the early days of the Dutton family. Executives believe that the rich storytelling potential within the Yellowstone universe can overcome the finale's misstep. Lessons learned. The Yellowstone finale serves as a cautionary tale for serialized television. The importance of a satisfying conclusion cannot be overstated, especially when dealing with a loyal fan base that has invested years into a story. Prolonged production delays, off-screen controversies, and an overemphasis on future spin-offs ultimately weakened what could have been a strong finish. As Taylor Sheridan moves forward with his ever-expanding TV empire, the lessons from Yellowstone's finale will undoubtedly shape how he approaches endings in future series. After all, in television, as in the Wild West, reputations are hard-earned and easily lost.